الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة، حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة، قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الرحمن الرحيم، مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين، اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. فلولا كان من القرون من قبلكم أولو بقية ينهون عن الفساد في الأرض إلا قليلا ممن أنجينا منهم، واتبع الذين ظلموا ما أترفوا فيه وكانوا مجرمين. وما كان ربك ليهلك القرى بظلم وأهلها مصلحون. ولو شاء ربك لجعل الناس أمة واحدة ولا يزالون مختلفين إلا من رحم ربك، ولذلك خلقهم، وتمت كلمة ربك لأملأن جهنم من الجنة والناس أجمعين. وكلا نقص من أنباء الرسل ما نثبت به فؤادك، وجاءك في هذه الحق وموعظة وذكرى للمؤمنين. وقل للذين لا يؤمنون اعملوا على مكانتكم إنا عاملون وانتظروا إنا منتظرون. ولله غيب السماوات والأرض وإليه يرجع الأمر كله فاعبده وتوكل عليه، وما ربك بغافل عما تعملون. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الرحمن الرحيم، مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. ألف لام را، تلك آيات الكتاب المبين. إنا أنزلناه قرآنا عربيا لعلكم تعقلون. نحن نقص عليك أحسن القصص بما أوحينا إليك هذا القرآن وإن كنت من قبله لمن الغافلين. إذ قال يوسف لأبيه يا أبت إني رأيت 11 كوكبا والشمس والقمر رأيتهم لي ساجدين. قال يا بني لا تقصص رؤياك على إخوتك فيكيدوا لك كيدا إن الشيطان للإنسان عدو مبين. وكذلك يجتبيك ربك ويعلمك من تأويل الأحاديث ويتم نعمته عليك وعلى آل يعقوب كما أتمها على أبويك من قبل إبراهيم وإسحاق إن ربك عليم حكيم. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نحمد ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. أما بعد. So, picking back up from where we left off, talking about Hajj. And the last thing that we had spoke, Hajj, when we talk about Hajj, it is a commemoration of Ibrahim alayhi salam, his willingness, his sacrifice, not just his, but of his son and of his wife, a family affair. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose for this story and this struggle and sacrifice of his Khalil to be echoed into eternity and to be remembered by all of those who believe. And not just remembered, but also for us to walk in his footsteps and walk in the footsteps of his wife. And also remember the willingness of Ismail alayhi salam through the udhiyah and the qurbani that we offer. Now, as a result of this willingness and this udhiyah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ransomed his son with a ram. وَفَدَيْنَاهُ بِذِبْحٍ عَظِيمٍ. To reward Ibrahim alayhi salam, as a reward, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded and instructed Ibrahim alayhi salam to rise up the walls of a structure that will be the center point of all of those who worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is not a structure to be worshipped, of course not, but it is a structure, one structure that reminds humanity of one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is towards that we direct our worship towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we are talking about the Kaaba. After Ibrahim alayhi salam and his son finished and completed the construction of the Kaaba, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed him yet again, وَأَذِّن فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ. Now, if you recall in the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam and his family, there were a few people who already started settling over there. The tribes, the caravans that were traveling, when they saw that there was a source of water here, they asked Hajar alayhi salam if they could stay, and she gave them permission to stay. And as the word started to spread, more and more people started to move. So there were some people who were there. So if you want this house to be visited, just let the group know. Right? Just let the group know. It's not hard to get the word around. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is commanding Ibrahim alayhi salam to adhin. Now, there's a difference between the announcements that, and speaking of announcements, okay. There's a difference between an announcement that is made and an adhan that is called. A loud call that is made. I'm sure that you would not like to hear someone standing after the prayer, hear me, hear ye, hear ye. Hello, yes. And just start screaming out an announcement when people are right in front of you. So he was told to go make a loud call. وَأَذِّن فِي النَّاسِ. So Ibrahim alayhi salam, he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Lord, how can I invite people when my voice does not reach them? So he did not object like, hey, yeah, what's the point? There's no one here. I can just let these people know. No. His concern was, my voice cannot reach. Okay? So how can I invite? How can I make this call? There's no one else around. There's no one else in the distance. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Ibrahim alayhi salam, you call and I will convey. And narrations mention that he stood at the maqam, and narrations mention that he stood at Safa, and another narration mentions that he stood at a mountain called Jabal Abu Qubais, which today no longer exists. But if you want to think about where it exists, the royal palace adjacent to Masjidul Haram, that is where Jabal Abu Qubais was. Okay? Safa was like the end of that mountain terrain. So where the palace is, okay, somewhere up there to make the call. And whoever was destined by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to answer that call, we see them going for Hajj today. I just want to share with you some of the statistics from Hajj of 1440. So this is pre-COVID, okay? And this is the recorded amount of Hujjaj that went for Hajj who were given visas, okay? 2,489,406 people attended Hajj in the year 1440. Right now we are in 1442. Okay, 1443 is about to start. Now, from amongst those, 211,000 Hujjaj were from Saudi. From Saudi Arabia, there were 635,000 Hujjaj. From amongst them, 211,000 were Saudi citizens, 423 were foreign nationals. Foreigners, 1.8 million, and then the other digits. Okay? From them, 876,000 women, and 978,000 men. Okay? Now, further getting into that, by far, so from the Khalij area, 33,000. Okay? From the other Arab countries, apart from the Khalij, 475,000. From the Asian countries, 1.1 million. From African countries, 190,000. From European countries, 67,000. And from North America, South America, and Australia, 27,000. So subhanAllah, Ibrahim alayhi salam made his call, and these how many people got the opportunity to respond, okay? Now, how many people flew in? 1.7 million. How many people drove in? 96,000. There's other numbers too, but I'm just going to round it up. And how many people floated in or came by ship? 17,000. So there are still, the port outside Jeddah still serves today to accept Hujjaj. Okay? Now, in 2017, 8 British Muslims set off for Saudi Arabia on their bikes from London. Okay, and this was, they traveled through 6 weeks. They traveled for 6 weeks through 8 countries, covering 2,000 miles, and they were able to raise £1 million for those who were affected by the war in Syria. So this was for awareness, and this was for charity. So subhanallah, Hajj by air, Hajj by land, Hajj by sea, and Hajj by bike. Okay, and for those who are local, when the authorities get a little busy on Yom Arafah, and they run in and climb over, okay, and they get in through the tunnels, and a lot of locals, that's how, because technically you can get away with staying in Mina. You just get in for Arafat and then shave udhiyah, and then udhiyah, then shave, and then that way that is taken care of. Now, King Abdul Aziz Airport in Jeddah was officially inaugurated in 1981. Okay, this was a purpose-built terminal for the influx of Hujjaj, and it only operates a few weeks each year. Now, when commercial airlines started to spread, and Muslim governments started to subsidize Hajj for Hujjaj from their countries, the number of Hujjaj soared from 50,000 in the 1960s to 500,000 in 1975. Okay, so until not too long ago, it was really, really light. Okay, Masjid al-Haram and obviously Masjid al-Nabi was also much, much smaller then. Things were much more simple. It is one of the largest terminals in the world, and it processes 80,000 Hujjaj in one time. And for those of you who go to that terminal, you can feel that you're one of the 80,000. But inshallah, things are getting better. But hey, this is the part of the sacrifice of Hajj. You don't have to go through the 4 or 5 to the 2-3 months of traveling. Instead, you wait for 4 or 5 hours, okay, at the airport. Okay, so subhanallah, we see that how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fulfilled His will and His promise to Ibrahim alayhi salam that you make the call and I will convey the call. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to be amongst those who get the opportunity to say labbaik, and many times in our lives, and for those that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts those. Jazakumullahu khair. Ameen. 2 dua requests. Sister Razia Begum, she has crossed paths with the virus, and Faisal Hassan, he is on life support, non-COVID related. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant both of these individuals shifa, to grant them strength, to grant them healing. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant them sabr, to grant their family sabr and ajr and reward for all of their sabr. Jazakumullahu khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.